Hello my friends and welcome to the channel. Today I got a special episode. I'm going to talk to you about the Aspark Owl, which is an insane electric vehicle, sports car. I talked about this crazy EV in my video about the fastest EVs in the world. I'll put a link to that in the description. I did a lot of research to make that video to bring together and find out all the fastest EVs in the world. In fact, the top 25 fastest EVs in the world. And you'll be surprised just how cheap some of those cars are. In fact, many of them are faster than supercars, but cost a minuscule fraction. Minuscule. Absolutely tiny fraction. The Aspark Owl, on the other hand, isn't cheap, sadly, but it's pretty freaking awesome. With more than 2,000 horsepower, this thing is fast. Real fast. It has 4 motors, one on every wheel basically, churning out that insane horsepower. And right now, it's probably the only direct competitor to the Rimac Nevera. And guys, if you haven't seen the Rimac Nevera, you need to see some of the videos on Carwell's channel showing the Nevera and how insanely fast it is. Crazy. It's the quickest car in the world, no doubt. It's not a production car yet. Definitely will be going into production this year. But technically it's not a production car because to be a production car, you need to produce more than around about 35 vehicles, I believe. I don't believe that many will be produced, but that could change within the next 12 months. Who knows? Now, Japanese engineering company Aspark was actually launched back in 2005 by Masanori Yoshida. And like a lot of people, you may not have heard of Aspark until they developed the Owl. Now, the Owl project was a project to construct an all-electric hypercar. And you've got to be impressed by the fact that they started this project all the way back in 2005 when everyone thought electric vehicles were basically golf carts. Seriously, kudos to these guys. Now the company has actually grown to more than 3,000 staff and 25 offices around the world through various engineering endeavors. And they based the production and development center for the Owl in the heart of hypercar manufacturing in Turin in Italy, where they can work closely with their partners on bringing this behemoth to customers. Now, not many people know this, but Italy is actually quite a hotbed for innovation and technology, battery technology. I mean, where does Tesla get its Gigapress from? Company based in Italy. There's a lot of stuff coming out of Italy that's very impressive. So, what about the design? Well, I think it looks really good. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. Do you like the design? Is it good, cool, hot, not? Tell me what you think. Now, obviously, with a car like this, you can't really just design something the way you want it to look. You have to consider the aerodynamics of the car. And obviously, aerodynamics have played a huge part in the design. Now, as you can see, this car is extremely sleek and less than 1 meter tall. The bonnet is kind of concave with the wheel arches bulging around it, and the cabin sits centrally mounted on the chassis, surrounded by the 4 bulges of the wheel arches. From there, the gullwing doors open and you step out and over a lower sill that runs from wheel to wheel. Now, what about performance? Well, I mentioned before that this thing has over 2,000 horsepower. It uses 4 permanent magnet synchronous motors with a combined output of 1,480 kilowatt, or 2,012 horsepower to be exact, which is utterly insane. Now, what about its torque? Aspark says it has 2,000 newton meters of torque. 2,000. So with that amount of power, the Owl doesn't just get off the line quickly, it keeps going and it can hit 400 kilometers an hour. Now put this in perspective, right? Tesla says that the new Tesla Model S Plaid, which will do the quarter mile in an insane 9.2 seconds, and 0 to 60 miles an hour, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in only 1.99 seconds. There's lots of videos on YouTube showing it doing this, so it does do it. Now it only has 1,000 horsepower, 1,020 horsepower, so that has almost exactly half of the horsepower that this car has. It has 3 motors instead of 4, and obviously it's a big sedan, so it's going to weigh a lot more than this thing does. Imagine this kind of power. I think it'd be frightfully scary, to be honest. Which is why I don't understand why this car does about the same speed, 0 to 100, as the Model S Plaid. Now I understand a lot of you will be saying, yes, cars are traction limited, and that's true. That's very true. But I still think with double the amount of power, it should be able to go a little bit quicker. I don't know though. However, where you really see this power come into play is when you get past that 0 to 60 miles per hour and keep accelerating. Now, by the time 10.6 seconds have passed, you'll be going 300 kilometers an hour. Most cars will do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour or 0 to 60 miles an hour in 10 seconds. This thing does 300 kilometers an hour in 10 seconds. Crazy. Now, you're probably saying, yeah, this is great, but what about battery and range? Well, it doesn't go that far, unfortunately. It has an 800 volt architecture, which is nice, but it only has a 64 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. Now, the company claims the range is 450 kilometers, but that's the NEDC figure. So you're probably going to get 350 if you drive conservatively. Now, all that said, what about the charging? Well, charging unfortunately isn't all that great. You'd think that with an 800 volt system and the ability to churn out over 1000 kilowatt of power that the Owl would be able to take it back in pretty quick fashion. But unfortunately not. According to the brochure on the Owl, it charges at only 44 kilowatt. Very slow. I hope that's not true. Aspark, hopefully you're watching this video, you'll see this video, and you'll upgrade this charging to a much more reasonable 250 kilowatt hour, maybe 300. Here's hoping. Now, what about money? How much does this crazy machine cost? Well, if you've had to ask, then you can't afford it. It costs 2.5 million euros, or around about 2.5 million US dollars. And they're only going to make 50. But if they've sold 50 and you want the 50 first, they might make an exception. Who knows? Now guys, if you had a spare, let's say you won the lottery, right? You won $50 million in the lottery. 50 million US dollars to be precise. Would you buy one of these? What car would you buy? Put your car in the comment section and let's see who gets the most votes. I'm really interested to see who gets the most votes. What would I buy? I'd buy a Rimac Navera, Tesla Model S Plaid, a BYD Dolphin. I could be here all night. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.